So, you love music enough that you want to make a career out of it. Let's break the data down to help you compare just how you might want to think about the difference between the artist side versus the executive side. First, we'll start with the artist side. Being an artist can be highly lucrative. The top of the top artists, Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, can become billionaires. However, for the majority of artists, they should think of record labels as more like market makers who get paid first in all instances to help that artist create a market. They advance you money to invest in your image, work to develop a market and an audience, and promote and distribute your music. But none of this is free, and the artist almost always gets paid last. Additionally, most initial deals do not include publishing rights or ownership, so the label has additional back-end insurance to be able to recoup some of their investment should the artist not pan out. Because of this, while a featured artist might have a royalty rate of 10 to 20%, most don't make almost any real money on their first deal. For a quick example, if an artist has an album that goes gold, which is about 500,000 albums sold, and can generate a top line of somewhere around $5 million from those 500,000 albums, then a 15% royalty rate would be $750,000. So if you've invested $1 million total in video, wardrobe, musicians, studio sessions, agents, etc., then you still actually owe the label $250,000. Now for the stats. It's estimated that 99% of musicians don't make a full-time living from their music. In 2022, only 15% of musicians made more than $25,000 a year from their music. Average annual pay for a musician averages about $44,000 a year, with starting pay closer to $30,000 and in some cases even less. And it's a highly saturated market. Over 100,000 tracks are uploaded to streaming services per day, and a musician would need to generate about 30 million streams just to get $100,000 in revenue. Okay, now let's take a look at the music executive side. The average record executive salary is about $94,000, and at bigger labels, the average is much higher. For example, at Interscope, an average music executive salary is over $230,000. The average A&R, which stands for Artist and Repertoire, the people largely responsible for developing the artist and their image, is around $52,000 a year, though some sources give an average even double that. Also, in some cases, a college degree is helpful to enter the music industry, but in others, it's much more built on relationships, experience, and being opportunistic. So all in all, the weighted average outcome heavily favors working behind the scenes on the record label side versus being in front of the scenes as an artist. That said, each individual should consider their own circumstances. All of these are factors to consider when trying to figure out which path to pursue.